So in this video, I'm going to be answering your questions. I recently asked on my Instagram that you guys should ask all the questions that you want answered. Obviously, this is going to be trading related. I have not done one of these Q&As on my YouTube channel yet, and I don't know why, so I figured now's the time. Again, I'm going to be running over quite a bit of questions, and hopefully you got all your questions answered. So the first question is, how long did it take you to become profitable? Now, it took me about 2.5 years, but it really depends on the individual. So I get asked all the time, how long does it take me specifically or you specifically to become profitable? And it's just impossible for me to answer. If I had to give an estimate, I would say 3 years. That's what the norm seems to be in trading. Again, it doesn't take that long for people to figure out the technical aspect of trading, but all the mental mistakes that you are making over and over again simply take very long for people to get over. So again, it depends totally on the person. It depends how much work you're putting in. It depends how well you know your mind and how well you are at adapting to your mistakes. But no matter what happens, it takes a long time to understand the market and the different market conditions. So you can backtest previous election years, you can backtest previous geopolitical disasters, but you are not going to react the same in real life with a real account, with real money, as you are when you are backtesting. So you really have to go through it to get through it with trading. I would say anywhere between 1 and 3 years, but again, 3 years and above is really the norm. What is your trading capital? So I have a 5-figure personal account, and then I have about 800,000 in total funding. Again, my funded capital goes like this, right? I lose account, then I gain account. That's really how it goes with prop firms. But I currently hold about 800,000 in total funding spread out across different firms. My personal account, I like to keep within the 5-figure range. Anything above that, I would simply get too emotional, I think. And on my personal account, I only aim for base hits, which means I am not going for huge gains. So on my personal account, which I'm also using as a track record, I am aiming for anywhere between 2 and 6% a month. On my prop firm accounts, I can go a little bit more crazy than that because again, I am not risking my own money. I'm trading with a prop firm. And so if I lose the high risk trades, it's not the end of the world. Do you trade Forex or futures? So I actually trade both, which a lot of people don't know. A lot of people only think that I trade futures. I only trade futures intraday. But when it comes to swing trading, I do use a CFD broker and I do trade currency pairs when it comes to swing trading. I am not trading currency pairs or Forex on an intraday basis at all. I simply do not like that market when it comes to intraday price action. There's also slippage and all these stuff that I have to worry about. And so when it comes to day trading or scalping, I really like the futures market, and that's what I do on a daily basis. On my Forex accounts, I will maybe trade 1, 2, or 3 times per month. Again, that's my swing trading accounts. They are mostly executed on a daily or a weekly time frame. And so I just don't trade there as often, but yes, I do trade currencies as well. Would you recommend scalp trading or swing trading? I think this totally depends on the individual. Statistically, you have a better shot at swing trading, which makes sense because you have access to more information. You are not as prone to make these mental mistakes that people are making. Again, when you are swing trading, you're not placing that many trades, which immediately removes the option for over trading, and FOMO is not as bad because you have a long time to get in. And so there's a lot of benefit in swing trading, but some people prefer day trading because again, you are going to get your results faster. And when you leave your desk, your workday is done because your trades are open and closed within the same day. So it really depends on the person and what they prefer. I do both, and you can do the exact same if that's what you want to do. Biggest loss in trading. So mine's actually not that bad. It was about $8,000 and that was in 2023. I haven't come close to that ever since. I've had losing days that was up there, but in a singular trade that was 8,000 and that was in 2023. What time frame is the best? So this is a question I get asked all the time on my Instagram whenever I upload something. What time frame did you do this on? What time frame does this work on? And again, in trading, whatever works on a 1-minute time frame is going to work on a daily time frame. So there's no such thing as a best time frame. Some people prefer a 1-minute chart. Some people prefer a 5-minute, 15-minute, daily, weekly, monthly. It all depends on you. But one thing that everybody has to understand is if technical analysis works on a 1-minute chart, it also works on a daily chart. So whenever you see me execute something, it doesn't matter what time frame it's executed on because the concept or strategy that you see me use will work on any time frame. That's how trading works. Is trading too risky to pursue? I mean, it is definitely risky, but so is any other business if you think about it. The statistic for failure in trading is very high, but it's also very high in any other business that you decide to pursue. As an entrepreneur, that's one of the things you sign up for, right? It's risky. It's much more risky than a regular job, but it also comes with a lot of benefits. But obviously, it cannot only be beneficial. So yes, it is risky, but some people prefer to live life a little bit more risky. I guess I'm one of them people. I like not knowing exactly what I'm going to get or how much money I'm going to earn next month, because again, that allows me to have months where I earn a lot of money, and that allows me to have months where I don't earn as much. But in the end, I like not knowing how much I'm going to make, because that means that I have no roof on how much money I can make. To answer your question, yes, it is risky, but it's not too risky for you to pursue. I don't think anything is. If it's something you're passionate about and something that you want to do, you should not be worrying about risk, because life is risky in general. What made you start trading? So I started trading because I had a friend who introduced me to trading. We were about 3 or 4 people who started trading together. And so we all traded, and yeah, I'm the only one left. There's no one else but me left. Funny enough, that adds on to the statistic about people failing. It's mostly because people are, they don't keep going, they quit. But again, I started trading because a friend introduced me to it. We started trading together, and then eventually he stopped trading, and everybody else that I knew personally who started trading with me also stopped trading. But that was the reason why I began, because I was introduced to it by a friend that I knew. Why did you start education/teaching? So this is a question I've gotten asked a bunch of times. If you're profitable, why do you have a business on the side? Or why do profitable traders have online courses or Discords or whatever it might be? So this question is pretty easy for me to answer. The reason why people do that is because that's an opportunity to make more money. And so if you had the opportunity to make more money, would you not do it? You cannot say, oh, you're profitable, so you don't need more money. Everybody wants more money. Why do you think Jeff Bezos is still working? Why do you think Elon Musk is still working? I mean, these people have enough money to live the rest of their lives, but they still want more. That goes for any human being. And so I had the opportunity to make more money because I have invested thousands of hours into this craft, and I know I can help people. And so there's no reason for me not to do that. And then people may say, well, can't you do it for free? No, because it takes a lot of my time, right? And my time equals money. And so that's why we put a price tag on it. But the reason why I actually started was because I was trading full time quite a bit before I had any other business related to trading. And that became very lonely very, very fast. And so the spark that I once had for trading really just wasn't there anymore. I wasn't providing any value, right? I'm sitting in my room all alone, making money, clicking buttons. I'm not providing any value. I'm not talking to any people. It's very, very lonely. And so I lit that spark again when I started teaching, because all of a sudden I was providing actual value, right? I was helping people. I was seeing the positive reactions. I was building friendships with the people that I was teaching. So it was just super beneficial. And that's essentially why I started. How to not let trading affect my day-to-day life. I think that really what happened to me was I also let trading affect my day-to-day life way more than it should. There was really no fix for me except keep going. Once you've been in the game long enough, you kind of learn to not worry too much about it. Like I say in basically every other video, you have to detach your mind from the aspect of earning money and instead start focusing on following rules and building good habits. That is very, very hard to do. But if you truly focus on rules and habits, well, then you have no reason to worry in your day-to-day life as long as you are following those rules and building those habits. So it's really just a question of keep going. You haven't been in the game long enough. The longer you're here, the easier it is going to become. Again, it took me a really long time for trading not to affect my day-to-day life. And even till this day, I still have days where I let my performance on the market affect my day-to-day life. How much did you need before you were comfortable going full time? So I had a rule for myself, and that was I had to have 6 or 8 months, I can't remember, 6 or 8 months worth of expenses saved up. Once I had that, I allowed myself to go full time because that gave me a buffer. No matter how wrong it went, I still had enough money to pay my bills and pay for food and all these essential things. So that's a really good rule of thumb, and I always advise my students the exact same. Have 6 to 8 months worth of expenses saved up, and then go ahead and decide whether you want to go full time or not. Because again, that allows you to have 6 or 8 months worth of failures and still be able to make rent and pay for food and all the other essentials. Where did you learn how to trade? So I actually learned it purely off of YouTube and Google and books, because I did not invest in a mentor. And that is one of the biggest mistakes that I've ever made in my life. I had no reason for not investing into one. I just didn't think about it, but I could have sped up so much of my journey, and I could have also avoided a lot of mistakes if I had just invested in a mentor. I actually learned it just off of YouTube and obviously market experience. But again, if I was able to go back, I would have 100 times out of 100 times invested in a mentor, because that would have saved me so much money. Do you do any long-term investing? I do. Again, I do swing trade, if you count that as long-term investing. There are also certain times where I will put my money in mega cap stocks like Tesla, Apple, and Google. And sometimes I hold that for the long run. I did it during the Trump rally, for example. I'm still holding a decent amount of Tesla shares from that period. So yes, I do also invest for the long term, but again, only on special occasions or if I see a really, really good opportunity. But no, I don't have any investments that I'll hold for 10, 15, 20 years. Does that mean that you shouldn't do it or that it is a bad idea? Absolutely not. I just haven't done it. And the final question: does money make you happy? I think this is very, very individual. So some people will say the money does make you happy. Some people will say that it doesn't. I personally think it's a 50-50. I think if you're not already happy, money is not going to help. I have a funny story here. Before I ever earned any money online, I had this idea that once I hit 10K a month, all my problems were going to be fixed. That was not the case, and let me get to it. My first goal was $1,000 online. I reached that and I was extremely happy. My next goal, I believe, was 5,000, and I reached that and I was happy. My next goal was 10,000. I reached that and it didn't feel like much. I was happy for about 2 hours, and the best way that I could compare it is you passing an exam in school. It feels really good for the first hour, 2 or 3 hours, but then you forget about it. And the exact same thing happened when I hit my long-term goal of $10,000 in a month. I was very, very happy for a few hours, and then it sort of faded away because now I had to do it all over again. And then all these questions comes into mind. Can I do it again? Can I make more? Am I going to make less? And it's really just not what you think it's going to be. Yes, it's nice to earn money, but it is definitely not everything. So that's one more reason for you not to do this solely because of money. So thank you a lot for watching this Q&A. This is definitely a different video, but I really hope you enjoyed. So I answered quite a bit of questions here from all of you who's been asking these on my Instagram. Again, the one I have linked in my bio is my personal Instagram. I also have a company Instagram where these questions were answered. So I'll also link that in the description in case you want to follow that. But thank you a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope your questions were answered.